So then they found them, and there was essentially no way to safely get them out. So they were on the other side of this rockfall. So this rockfall there. Anything you were touching in there was collapsing. And ultimately the rescuers put through PVC piping that was like a tube. They managed to get through the rockfall to Todd and Brant, and then they were sending them down sausage and water and stuff. I just remember the boys constantly complaining about sausage, and then it was about 14 days later they were freed, which was, that was such an intense period. Like, this is Beaconsfield, Tasmania. It is not a glamorous place. It's the real Tasmania. It's not the Mona or Mach 1 Tasmania that a lot of mainlanders know. This is real Tasmania. And all of a sudden, it's on the front page of every paper. It's, there's massive media encampments. Went through all these weird things like, literally I was standing next to, Mike Willesee when he died, like it was just all this weird stuff going on. And it did, it did propel me in terms of my profile and my name, certainly within the union, but also nationally on that kind of national stage. I became very close to Todd and Brant's family, particularly Todd's dad, Nobby, and mum, Kay, and then Brant's wife, Rachel, who all of them I count as really dear and close friends of mine. And I found that was my job, just looking after the families during that period. And then, yep, they were released, and that was a it was a wacky time in the union. It's the only time you ever heard John Howard getting up and thanking a trade union publicly for the work that we had done. I remember a guy called Guy Barnett, who was a backbencher in the federal government and a Tasmanian senator, would always kind of try to come to town to make a name for himself. I think he's now the deputy premier of Tasmania, because I think he's done that usual Tasmanian thing of flipping from federal parliament to state parliament, having to deal with all these libs. But it was an amazing experience and quite defining for me, because it was a weird mix of, politics, industrial relations, occupational health and safety, celebrity and TV. And for me it reminded me of just how important and powerful unions can be when they are doing the right thing for their members and focusing on the thing that matters most. And I always believed that our number one obligation as a trade union was to make sure that our members went to work happy and healthy in the morning and came home happy and healthy at night. And so safety became a real obsession for me.